We live. Hi everyone, this is Victoria Nalule and here with me Mr. Deng Duot from South Sudan. So today's video is going to be focused on him expounding on his opinion with respect to whether African countries will transition to a low carbon economy. But before we start, I would like Mr. Deng to briefly introduce himself.
Thank you, everybody. My name is Deng Duot. I am a PhD student at the University of Dundee Center for Energy, Petroleum Law, and Policy.
All right. Then do you want to just give more information about yourself and your background with respect to energy?
A little bit about myself. I came here and did my master's here at the University of Dundee, and I was really amazed by the energy sector or energy school here at the University of Dundee. And I came to say, okay, I should do my PhD in energy. I came from South Sudan, and South Sudan is one of the countries that is blessed with oil, and oil is not a renewable energy. At a certain time, maybe in South Sudan is going to run out of petroleum in 2035 or 2040. So what are the other options? The other option are the renewable energy, of which South Sudan is blessed with a lot of sun, Nile water, as well as other energies that can be tapped in, with Uganda having Karuma Dam, and they are not using it, while South Sudan cannot tap in there, and both countries can win-win. That would be really good for someone like me to in the future, advising South Sudan on how they can benefit from Uganda energy, geothermal energy in the Elim Triangle, as well as other rich energy that South Sudan can tap in, like in the desert of South Sudan, which is the Sahara Desert, that has so much energy that South Sudan can put in solar energy.
All right, thanks. So right now we want to expound more on your opinion, which I'll just read out briefly. So in this new series of webinars, I'm hosting different people from different African countries, and we want to hear more about their opinion with respect to whether African countries or governments have the political will to move forward or to develop the energy sector in their countries. And just to briefly read out what you wrote, so that you can explain more about it. You said, I think the future of the African energy sector is bright. We have the desire to develop our continent. We should therefore use the energy resources for our economic development. I believe that this is where the political will comes in. I will not read everything, but I notice your concentration on ensuring that African countries utilize their energy resources to ensure economic development in their countries. Could you please expound more on your opinion with respect to how African countries can move forward to utilize the available energy resources they have on the continent?
Well, Africa is a blessed continent, but for us to meet the economic development, such as the Millennium Development and Agenda 2030, we need to tap into the energy, whereby we can invest in agriculture. And for agriculture to do very well, you need energy. You need energy for everything. Energy is the only thing that can drive the economic development, such as in the hospitals. You need energy in the hospital so that the hospital can run. You need energy so businesses can run. You need energy so that you can have education running. But today, the African countries are relying on non-renewable energy. But that non-renewable energy is going to run out. But what can we do is investing in a long term, whereby we can use solar energy, wind energy. Africa has what it needs, but in investing in that, we need a political will. And a political will is prioritizing what is important, then investing in another unimportant energy, focusing on oil, If we can see these potential energies and invest in today, then we can reach our development goal easily, rather than waiting until our oil, non-renewable oil or non-renewable energies are out. So that's what I mean. I also believe that the African countries have what it takes. Instead of investing and looking for loans, such as whatever we had in Kenya in NGR, that are believed to be running an energy, if we don't do negotiation very well, then we are actually undermining the future generation and not giving them the best. But we have a good negotiation mechanism, and that's where political will comes in, making sure people are signing what is believed and what is meant and what cannot put country into jeopardy. We have seen that in Ghana, which was negotiated, and now Ghana is unable to pay for it. Ghana negotiated an airport with Chinese companies, and Chinese are providing energy. But the African countries have all it takes. The only thing we need is to envision ourselves and ask ourselves, is this where we want to be? Like in Kenya, the same contract was negotiated by Rwanda, Uganda, and Tanzania. It is cheaper, but Kenyan just jumped in and signed without understanding. How do we give all this energy out? All these natural resources, where will they come from? We have countries like Uganda that has built dams, so many dams are not being utilized. What can we do? That's where political will is. Why were these built? How can we put them into use? What are we getting from them? Who need energy? Uganda is blessed with neighboring country like South Sudan that need energy. It is better for Uganda to commission the contract that was signed between South Sudan and Uganda. So both countries can benefit from that. And that's where I think the energy and political will come together. If this energy are used very well, then we will not have that question of whether the African have the political will, but we will ask whether the African has met the economical development that is needed, of which the energy sector is built around. We have seen other countries, such as the United States, are more developed. The European country are talking about the energy transition. But can Africa transition from where it is now if they are not investing? I believe no. But if we have and put the energy resources together, then the issue of political will is addressed. And that's where I believe we can meet the energy need for African countries. And that's what I mean, that the African are not struggling with political will, but they are struggling on management and seeing what do we need. How can we manage these resources? Who do we need to tap? Who do we ask for advice? We have a lot of young experts in the field of energy. And that field of energy is what we can use those experts to tell us what do we need. And those are the issues I mean, the issue of political will is not a bigger thing. The issue of management, whether we manage the resources, whether we manage the expert, whether we look for other countries to see what has been done in the other country can be useful in our country or not. And that will be brought by our expert, such as Dr. Nalule. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I've really liked the issue you've raised about negotiating energy contracts and energy deals, because currently on the African continent, like historically, our governments have been signing bad contracts that are detrimental to their people. And even up to now, with the mere fact that we even have experts, some countries are still negotiating and signing bad contracts. And like you've mentioned, the issue of investment is key. It's key in ensuring that we develop our resources. It's key in ensuring that the resources benefit the people. But if we sign bad contracts, then that means like no one is going to benefit apart from maybe the investor and maybe some foreign companies. So I would like you to expound more on this issue of negotiating energy contracts. How can we ensure that African countries get the good deals, and what is the problem right now? Why is it that even after decades of sending people to do these courses and getting the expertise, we still have some countries that are signing contracts that are very detrimental to their people?
Well, the issue of negotiation is very hard. For example, most of the contracts are signed out of the country, and if there's problems, then the tribunal is not held in the country. The contract that I was signing sometimes are not well interpreted or translated in the language that our people can understood better. I can start with the contract that was signed in Liberia, Metal Gold Company. That was really bad contract. We look at the contract signed in Congo. We look at the Tanzanian contracts. These contracts are signed and they are going to last for more than 40 years. And if you don't really know what you're signing, then you are going to suffer. What do we need about that? We need three things. One, using our expert. Again, I go back to our own expert who can understand what is written, what is needed. We need to look at what has been done in Caribbean countries. So African can sign as in block and can negotiate as in block. Some such things have been used in West Africa. And the same thing mirror in the African pre-trade. And also it's the same thing that the African development, mining development talks about. So if we look into this, then they address the issue of sustainable development agendas. But if negotiations are done and we don't understand what is needed, then we are going to suffer. Such as what I mentioned before, the contract signed between the Chinese NGR in Kenya is a bad contract because people didn't understood what they're signing. Now they're going to be forced to give up the port of Mombasa as a collateral damaged to the loan given. How did that come about? It came about because the contract was signed and we don't know what is in. Most of our contract negotiators are Western countries or our politicians who are only interested in kickback, or young lawyers who believe they know everything. But it is good to look what area of specialization are you in, so we can send these negotiators to go and negotiate on behalf of our country. As we have looked in the case of Rwanda, there's a young woman, I cannot remember her name, but she negotiated the airport. That was a best deal. We need the same thing. That was the Minister of Investment in Rwanda. She negotiated the deal, and that deal is beneficial to Rwanda because she used the same negotiation skill that was used by the Caribbean countries. If we can send our own young, energetic expert to school to learn on how to do negotiation, also revisiting the BITs, whereby we can have arbitration within our country rather than relying on the foreign arbitrators to decide what needed. It is better for us to use our own arbitrators within African country whereby we invest within Africa and all the revenues come back to the African countries. We should not even be thinking, okay, because an investor is in this country, then we will be taking our arbitration or cases to the US in exit. Why not in Rwanda? Why not in Nairobi? Why not in Juba? Why not in Kampala? Why not in Accra, Ghana? Why not in Abuja, Nigeria? Does it mean that these people are not learned, or does it mean that these people are not lawyers to know what is wrong and what is right? No. I believe it is time to look back and say, we give much to the world and we need more from them. And it is time to revisit all the contract and ways of doing things within the African continent. I believe it is best for all of us, not only for African, but also for the investors, whereby the interest will be protected by the local companies, by the citizen, and by the politicians who are in the government.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Deng. I've really enjoyed your opinion video. You've raised very important issues, especially with respect to negotiating good deals in the energy sector, or in the natural resources generally, and also the issue of ensuring that governments tap and utilize their own people, their own expertise in the country when negotiating these deals. So I think for our viewers, those are some of the key issues that have been highlighted by Mr. Deng Duot, who's from South Sudan. And just for the closing remarks, because this is a short video, would you like to just offer a few key issues or key things you would like our viewers to note as closing remarks? And you can also share your contact details with them, Deng.
Thank you, Dr. Nalule. I came to this school knowing nothing. And I was inspired by our young Africans, especially Dr. Nalule here.
Thank you.
I was not interested in doing my PhD, but seeing her doing her PhD made me to say, I want to come back. You as an African, whether young or old or whatever you can call yourself, you have what it takes to change our continent. And changing our continent is to have vision. It's to have someone you look up to. Is to challenge yourself, whether do I have what it takes to give back to our country, or do I just settle where I am? All of us were born. We did not know anything, but at a certain point, we will come to know, yes, at least I know something. I'm not saying I know, but I believe you know it. I don't know anything, but you know it. And if you are hiding down there, not coming out, then the issue of energy, political will, negotiation are going to be lost on the sky. But if you are there to educate yourself and to take this thing forward, then we can solve the issue of African problems. Many of us here are learned. But when it comes to the use of our knowledge, our leaders tend to overlook us. Yes, we will claim, we will complain and talk about this. But if we have a good number of people that understand whatever our politicians are needed, then we will challenge them in the near future. We have seen a lot of our experts, such as Dr. Nalule, sitting in here in energy chapter. And if our government comes in today and needed advice, then they will tap in, and they will also tap into a person like you in the future. So there are few individuals that are learned but are not being utilized. I challenge the government. I challenge you also to share all the videos we have here so that people can see. We have people like Dr. Rukonge, who just finished today, recently, in lower contents. And this is what Africans need. And they will advise us whether whatever we have today in African continent is benefiting Africans or not. We will get all those opinions and expertise from our own African learned people. I challenge you to share this whenever you have time. Listen to them, and they will change everything you think. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dink. That was really brilliant. Thank you very much for your time. And for our viewers, please, as Mr. Dink has said, don't just sit there, listen to us, share the videos, and also share your opinion, because we are learning. Every day we learn from different people from different countries, and eventually we shall be able to come up with the solutions to the problems that we've been experiencing. But we can't do it alone. Me, Victoria Nalule from Uganda, I can't just sit here and be like, I know it all. I have to tap from my colleagues' knowledge, like Deng from South Sudan, who give you different examples, people from Nigeria, from Tanzania. So we have common problems, we have common challenges, and we should come together and find common solutions. Thank you very much, Deng. This was a very brilliant webinar. Thank you very much for your time. And thank you very much for always supporting me and for always attending all the events I always organize. Very much appreciated. Have a lovely day.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.